Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Monday, January 22nd, 2024. Today I'm going to recap the NFL Divisional round games from the weekend. And they'll do college basketball, NBA, NHL, soccer, golf, tennis, news and notes, and my best bet for the day. We're going to start the NFL Divisional round results. I was correct on which teams were going to win for the record. Ravens over the Texans 34-10. Ravens advanced to their first AFC title game in 11 years. Texans' great season comes to an end. 49ers win a thriller over the Packers 24-21 to advance to their fourth NFC championship game in a 5-year span, which is absurd, and their third one in a row. Packers, great season. A lot to be proud of, like the Texans. And then yesterday, Lions over the Bucs 31-23. Jared Goff in his second career NFC championship game. Baker Mayfield and the Bucs, great story. Took advantage of a bad division. That's a team that probably has a lot of question marks heading into the offseason and into next season. And then finally the Chiefs over the Bills 27-24, the one underdog to win outright this weekend, as I predicted on the show. 6 AFC title games in a row for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, which is absurd. Patrick Mahomes is 8-0 in wild card and divisional rounds, which is freaking insane, as the Bills lose in the divisional round yet again, and for the second time in 3 years against the Kansas City Chiefs. So we'll do more postmortems for the eliminated teams as the week goes on. Now we'll get into college basketball, where we'll go over results from the weekend and look ahead to tonight's games. And just so you guys know, I did not do totals for the games tonight, so I apologize for that in advance. Friday, Fairleigh Dickinson over Stonehill 76-69, Xavier over Georgetown 92-91, VC over St. Louis 85-61, Quinnipiac over Siena 82-70, Niagara over Ryder 78-74, Mount St. Mary's over Marist 65-48, Fairfield over St. Peter's 76-67, Iona over Canisius 70-58, Lemoyne over Central Con 75-73, Wagner over Merrimack 71-65, Safer MPA over LIU 72-66, Central Michigan over Toledo 65-62, Akron over Kent State 77-71, Chicago State over East West 131-55, number 11 Wisconsin over Indiana 91-79, and Colorado State over UNLV 78-75. Saturday notable results. Texas upsets number 9 Baylor 75-73. Number 17 Marquette beats St. John's 73-72. Number 18 Creighton over Seton Hall 97-94 in triple overtime, and probably the best Big East game of the year. Syracuse over Miami 72-69 on a buzzer beater 3 by Quadir Copeland. Vatech over NC State 84-78. Wake over Louisville 90-65. Ohio State over Penn State 79-67. UMass over George Washington 81-67. Number 21 Dayton over Rhode Island 96-62. Number 15 Oklahoma over Cincinnati 69-65. Boise State over San Diego State 67-66. South Carolina over Arkansas 77-64. Loyola Chicago over Fordham 65-61. Number 5 Houston over UCF 57-42. Number 6 Tennessee over Alabama 91-71. Number 24 Iowa State over number 19 TCU 73-72. Rice over Temple 69-66. Bradley over Belmont 95-72. Drexel over Delaware 86-67. Colgate over BU 75-59. George Mason over St. Bonaventure 69-60. Furman over Western Carolina 65-62. Cleveland State over Purdue Fort Wayne 75-68. Number 2, Purdue over Iowa, 84-70. Number 4, North Carolina over BC, 76-66. Arizona State over USC, 82-67. Nebraska over Northwestern, 75-69. St. Joe's over Duquesne, 71-69. UAB over Eastern Carolina, 69-61. SMU over Tulsa, 103-70. Mississippi State over Vandy, 68-55. West Virginia upsets number 3 Kansas, 91-85. Number 12 Arizona over UCLA, 77-71. Number 16 Utah State over Fresno State, 83-62. Clemson over Florida State, 78-67. Charlotte over North Texas, 56-44. Butler over DePaul, 74-60. Texas A&M over LSU, 73-69. Richmond over Davidson, 69-64 in OT. New Mexico over Air Force, 85-66. Cal over Wazoo, 81-75 in OT. Arkansas State over Texas State, 79-72. Number 8 Kentucky over Georgia, 105-96. Number 25 Texas Tech over number 20 BYU, 85-78. Virginia over Georgia Tech, 75-66. Drake over Evansville, 97-48. UNT Wilmington over Charleston, 78-69. Sanford over Mercer, 87-80. JMU over Marshall, 67-52. Colorado over Oregon State, 90-57. Kansas State over Oklahoma State, 70-66. High Point over Charleston Southern, 86-79. Northeastern over Elon, 84-72. Santa Clara over Portland, 101-86. Wyoming over Nevada, 98-93. Number 1 UConn over Villanova, 66-65. Pitt upsets number 7 Duke, 80-76 at Cameron Indoor. Holy shit. I thought that was a road game. I thought that game was at Pitt. Florida over Missouri, 79-67. Number 13 Auburn over number 22 Ole Miss, 82-59. Stanford over Washington, 90-80. St. Mary's over San Francisco, 77-60. LMU over Pepperdine, 68-61. And Gonzaga over San Diego, 105-63. Yesterday's results: Michigan State over Maryland, 67-59. Or 61-59. Tulane over number 10 Memphis, 81-79. Number 14 Illinois over Rutgers, 86-63. South Florida over Wichita State, 72-68. Niagara over St. Mary's, 82-71. Marist over Siena, 50-48. Quinnipiac over Iona, 91-87. Fairfield over Manhattan, 82-75. St. Peter's over Canisius, 70-59. Sacred Heart over Wagner, 66-61. Merrimack over Stonehill, 63-47. Lemoyne over St. Fran, PA, 94-57. Number 23 FA over over UTSA, 112-103 in overtime. Utah over Oregon, 80-77. Chattanooga over East Tennessee State, 81-74. Indiana State over Murray State, 72-63. Chicago State over St. Xavier, 108-58. And Central Con over LIU, 72-63. All right, not a big window, only 16 games. 7 o'clock tonight, ESPN. Wake at number 4, North Carolina. Tar Heels I have projected as only a 7-point favorite over Wake. It's definitely larger than that because Carolina gets that Carolina bump all the time. And it's 8.5, 154.5. Oh, so it's lower than I thought it was going to be. I'll take the over. CBS Sports Network, Lehigh, Colgate. My line is Colgate 8.8, and it is 11.5, 144.5. I'll take Lehigh. Northwestern State, Southeast Louisiana. My line's Southeast Louisiana 4.8, and it's 7.5, 138.5. I'll take Northwestern State, the cover. McNeese A&M CC on ESPNU. My line's McNeese 3.5, and it's 3.5, 141.5. I'll take the over. Nichols and Incarnate Word 7:30. My line's Nichols 3.2, and it's 3.5 and 146.5. I'll go over there as well. A&M Commerce, Lamar at 8 o'clock. My line's Lamar 3.8, and it's 5.5, 147.5. I'll take the over. New Orleans, Houston Christian. My line's Houston Christian 8/10, and it's New Orleans 2.5 total 157.5. I'll take Houston Christian plus the points and plus 112 to win. Florida A&M and Miss Valley State 8:30. My line is Florida A&M by a quarter, and it's 8.5, 134.5. I'll take Miss Valley in the points. Prairie View Alcorn 8:30. Mine's Alcorn 2.4, and it is 3.5, 150.5. Under. That's high. Bethune and Pine Bluff. My line is Pine Bluff 2.5, and it's 1.5, 165.5. Under. All right, the nightcap on ESPN Cincinnati at number 3. Kansas. My line's Kansas by 9. and it is 8.5 and 145.5. Kansas is a really good money line pick because of the bounce back spot after losing to West Virginia over the weekend, but I like the over. Hofstra Stony Brook, CBS Sports Network. My line Stony Brook by 2, and it is Hofstra 3.5, total 142. Now give you Stony Brook plus the points, plus 140. Texas Southern, Jackson State, ESPNU. My line's Jackson State 4.9, it's 4.5, 140.5 over. Weber State, Montana. My line's Montana 3.3, and it's a half and 145.5, so it's essentially a pick 'em. I'm going to lay the half and take Montana in the pick 'em. And Idaho State, Montana State. My line's Montana State 4.7, and it's 4.5 and 137.5. I'll gladly take the over there as well. And we will recap the NBA games from the weekend, and we will look ahead to tonight's slate. All right, Friday, Hornets over the Spurs, 124-120. Sixers over the Magic, 126-109. Nuggets over the Celtics, 102-100, as the Celtics lose their first home game of the season. Hawks over the Heat, 109-108. Suns over the Pelicans, 123-109. Blazers over the Pacers, 118-115. Nets over the Lakers, 113-112. Mavericks Warriors was postponed because of the passing of Warriors assistant coach Dejan Milovic. Saturday, Bucks over the Pistons, 141-135. Sixers over the Hornets, 97-89. Spurs over the Wizards, 131-127. Knicks over the Raptors, 126-100. Cavs over the Hawks, 116-95. Bulls over the Grizzlies, 125-96. Rockets over the Jets, 127-126 in OT. And the Thunder over the T-Wolves, 102-97. Sunday, Clippers over the Nets, 125-114. Magic over the Heat, 105-87. Nuggets over the Wizards, 113-104. Celtics over the Rockets, 116-107. Suns over the Pacers, 117-110. And the Lakers over the Blazers, 134-110. And the slate for tonight, 8 games, 7 o'clock, Bucks, Pistons. My line is Bucks 11 1/4, total 240 and 3/10. And we have here 12 and 247.5. I like the under. Cavs Magic. Men's Magic 4 1/4, total 223 and 1/10. And it's Cavs by 1, total 215. I think the wrong team's favored here, but I like the over. Disrespect for the Orlando Magic. NBA TV Spurs Sixers. Mine Sixers 17.5, total 232 and 720. It's at its 13.5 and 237. I like the under in that game. 7:30 Grizzlies Raptors. Mine's Raptors 2.5, total 226 and 720. It's 7 and 227.5. That's way too high. I like Memphis in the 7. 8 o'clock Hornets T-Wolves. My line's T-Wolves 20.5, total 224 1/4. And it's 15.5 and 222. I'm laying the 15.5 at Minnesota. 8:30 Celtics Mavs. Mine's Celtics 6 1/4, total 233 and 2/5. And it's 3.5 and 240 under. 9 o'clock Bulls Suns. My line is the Suns by 13, total 226 and 9/20. And it's 5.5 and 228.5. I'm laying the 5.5 of the Suns. I think that's low. And 10 o'clock NBA TV Hawks Kings. Mine's the Kings by 12 1/4, till 239 and 7/20, and it is 8 and 237. I'm going to lay the 8 with the Sacramento Kings. Now I'm going to go over the NHL results from the weekend and look ahead to a nice slate for tonight. So Friday, Wild over the Panthers 6-4, Canes over the Red Wings 4-2, Devils over the Jackets 4-1, Blackhawks over the Isles 4-3 in OT. And that was the loss that Lou Lamoriello said Lambert's got to go. We'll get into that in news and notes. Lightning over the Sabres 3-1. Avs over the Flyers 7-4. Jets over the Sens 2-1 OT. Coyotes over the Preds 3-2. Bruins over the Habs 9-4. Stars over the Devils 6-2. Canucks over the Leafs 6-4. Blues over the Caps 3-0. Oilers over the Flames 3-1. Golden Knights over the Pens 3-2. Kings over the Rangers 2-1. Sharks over the Ducks 5-3. And then yesterday, Sens over the Flyers 5-3, Wild over the Canes 5-2, Red Wings over the Lightning 2-1, Isles over the Stars 3-2 in OT. So first game over Raw, they get the win. Rangers over the Ducks 5-2, big win for New York. And the Leafs over the Kraken 3-1. All right, 6 games tonight. 7 o'clock, you have the Jets against the Bruins. Huge game. Maybe the Stanley Cup final preview, but two of the best teams in the league. Bruins minus 132, Jets plus 110, over under 5.5. Over is minus 120, under is minus 102. Jets plus 1.5 is minus 130. Bruins minus 1.5 is plus 188. I like the under. Golden Knights Devils, NHL Network. Devils minus 120, Vegas even money, over under 6.5. Over is plus 104, under is minus 128. Vegas plus 1.5 is minus 40. Devils minus 1.5 is plus 95. I'm taking Vegas even money. I just don't like how New Jersey's playing. 8 o'clock, Panthers Preds. Panthers minus 11, Preds minus 1, over under 6.5. Overs plus 1, unders minus 132. Panthers minus 1.5 is plus 210. Preds plus 1.5 is minus 260. That's a hard one. I'm going to go with Florida on the road minus 11. I just think they're better. 9 o'clock, Pens Coyotes. Pens minus 146, Coyotes plus 152, over under 6.5. Overs plus 106, unders minus 103. Pens minus 1.5 is plus 164. Coyotes plus 1.5 is minus 200. I like the over plus money. Was going to take Arizona, but talked myself out of it. 10 o'clock, Blackhawks, Canucks. Canucks minus 400. Blackhawks plus 310, over under 6.5. Overs plus 1 weight, unders minus 132. Blackhawks plus 1.5 is plus 130. Canucks minus 1.5 is minus 156. I like the over at plus money. And then 10:30, Sharks, Kings. Kings minus 350, Sharks plus 275, over under 5.5. Overs minus 134, unders plus 110. Sharks plus 1.5 is plus 112. Kings minus 1.5 is minus 134. I like the under plus 110. Neither of these teams have been good offensively of late. Now we'll go over the notable soccer results from the weekend and we'll look ahead to today's notable soccer. We'll start Premier League. Saturday, Arsenal over Crystal Palace 5-0. Brentford over Nottingham 3-2. Yesterday, Sheffield United, West Ham 2-2 draw. Liverpool over Bournemouth 4-0. And today, 2:45, you have Brighton Wolves. So this is the last Premier League game until next Tuesday. It's crazy. So the odds. Braves minus 160, Wolves is plus 420, the draw is plus 320. Wolves have been playing good. They are in 11th right now, and Brighton is in 8th. I'm going to take the draw at plus 320. I think Brighton is overvalued in that spot. La Liga. Friday, Alaves over Cadiz 1-0. Saturday, Las Palmas over Rayo 2-0. Real Mallorca 1-1 draw. Valencia over Athletic 1-0. Real Sociedad over Celta Vigo 1-0. And then yesterday, Osasuna over Getafe 3-2. Real Madrid over Almeria 3-2. Barcelona over Betis 4-2. And Girona over Sevilla 5-1. And at 3 o'clock, Granada and Atletico. Atletico minus 165. Granada plus 380. The draw's plus 290. So right now, Granada is in second to last, in position for relegation, which is no good. And Atletico is in position for the Europa League, which is pretty good. Atletico Madrid minus 165 would be a good money line leg. But I like under 2.5 goals at plus 106 for value. German Bundesliga. Mainz Union Berlin was postponed. But Union Berlin plays on Wednesday. We got to remember that for the show. So, Saturday, Heidenheim, Wolfsburg, 1-1 draw. Dortmund over Cologne, 4-0. Freiburg over Hoffenheim, 3-2. Darmstadt, Frankfurt, 2-2 draw. Bochum over Stuttgart, 1-0. Leverkusen over Leipzig, 3-2. And then yesterday, Bremen over Bayern, 1-0. Augsburg over Gladbach, 2-1. Serie A. Saturday, AS Roma over Verona 2-1 and Milan over Udinese 3-2. And then yesterday, Frosinone over Cagliari 3-1. Empoli over Monza 3-0. Genoa over Salernitana 2-1. And Juventus over Lecce 3-2. ELC. Friday, Hull over Sunderland 1-0. Saturday, Southampton over Swansea 3-1. Blackburn Huddersfield 1-1 draw. Bristol City Watford 1-1 draw. Borough Rotherham 1-1 draw. Norwich City over West Brom 2-0. Plymouth over Cardiff 3-1. QPR over Millwall 2-0. Coventry over Sheffield Wednesday 2-1. And Birmingham over Stoke 2-1. And then yesterday, Leeds over Preston 2-1. And then today, 3 o'clock, we have Leicester and Ipswich. So we have Leicester in first and then Ipswich in third. So this is a big-time matchup for the ELC. Leicester's minus 3, Ipswich is plus 310, the draw's plus 260. I like over 2.5 goals at minus 118. Dutch Eredivisie. Friday, Excelsior over Heerenveen 3-0. Saturday, NEC over FC 20 1-0. Heracles FC Volendam 1-1 draw. AS Alkmaar PC Zwolle 2-2 draw. And Almere City Fortuna got postponed. And then yesterday, FC Utrecht over PSV. I'm sorry, that was 1-1 draw. Go Ahead Eagles over Sparta 2-0. Feyenoord over Vitesse 2-1. And Ajax over AKC Waldrich 4-1. Africa Cup of Nations. Friday, Cape Verde over Mozambique 3-0. Senegal over Cameroon 3-1. Guinea over Gambia 1-0. Saturday, Algeria and Burkina Faso 2-2 draw. Angola over Mauritania 3-2. Tunisia, Mali 1-1 draw. Yesterday, Morocco, Congo, DR 1-1 draw. Zambia, Tanzania 1-1 draw. And South Africa over Namibia 4-0. And then today, we have at noon Equatorial Guinea and Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast is minus 310. Equatorial's 9-1. The draw's plus 330. Over 2.5 goals plus 106. Guinea-Bissau and Nigeria. Nigeria is minus 650. Guinea-Bissau is 15-1. The draw's 5-1. I like under 2.5 goals minus 116. 3 o'clock. Mozambique, Ghana. Ghana minus 150. Mozambique plus 440. The draw's plus 230. Over 2.5 goals plus 110. And at 3 o'clock, Cape Verde, Egypt. Egypt minus 220. Cape Verde 6-1. The draw's plus 270. I like over 2.5 goals at plus 108. The Asian Cup. Weekend results. Friday, Iraq over Japan 2-1. Indonesia over Vietnam 1-0. Iran over Hong Kong 1-0. Saturday, Jordan, South Korea 2-2 draw. Bahrain over Malaysia 1-0. And yesterday, Oman, Thailand 0-0 draw. And Saudi Arabia over Kyrgyz Republic 2-0. And then today at 10 a.m., Qatar, China. Which is an interesting game for sure. Qatar's minus 115, China's plus 330, the draw's plus 210. Kind of like the draw plus 210. And then Tajikistan and Lebanon. Tajikistan is even money. Lebanon's plus 270. The draw's 2-1. I like Tajikistan at even money for that one. Liga MX from the weekend. Friday, Necaxa over Puebla 2-1. Athletic San Luis over Unam 3-1. Juarez Cruz Azul 0-0 draw. Saturday, Toluca over Mazatlan 4-1. America over Querétaro 2-0. Atlas Tijuana 0-0 draw. And then yesterday, Tigres over Guadalajara 1-0. And Monterrey over Santos 2-0. The Women's Super League. Friday, Aston Villa over Leicester 1-0. Saturday, Arsenal over Everton 2-1. And then yesterday, Chelsea over Man United 3-1. Brighton over Bristol City 3-2. Man City over Liverpool 5-1. And Tottenham over West Ham 4-3. And then we had Coupe de France over the weekend as well. Round of 32. Friday, Lyon over B. Perigord 2-1. Saturday, Valenciennes over Paris FC 2-1. Brest over Trossac 2-1. Monaco over Rodez Aveyron 3-1. Stade Laval over Nantes 1-0. Le Puy over Dunkirk 2-1. Nice over Bordeaux 3-2. PSG over Orleans 4-1. Sunday, Sochaux over Reims. A result, but there was a 2-2 draw, but Sochaux advances 5-4 on penalties. St. Priest over Romoraton 4-1. Rouen Toulouse 3-3 draw. Rouen advances 12-11 on penalties. Lille over Racing CF 1-0. Strasbourg over Clermont Foot 3-1. Le Havre AC over Châteauroux 1-0. And Rennes Marseille 1-1 draw, but Rennes advances 9-8 on penalties. So we have one more round of 32 game on Wednesday, and the round of 16 will be February 7th, which is a Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. That's a lot of soccer. Now we'll move on to golf. We have the results from the American Express, and you had a surprise winner with a score of 29 under. Nicholas Dunlap. Second, 28 under. Christian Ziedenhout. Tied for third, 27 under. Justin Thomas, Xander Schauffele, CAU. Tied for sixth with 25 under. Sam Burns, Michael Kidd, Adam Hadwin. Tied for ninth with 24 under. Ben Griffin, Keith Mitchell. Tied for 11th with 23 under. JT Potson, Adrian Jork, and Rio Hasatune. Tied for 14th with 22 under. Chon Kim. Bronson Burgoon, and Jimmy Stanger. Tied for 17th with 21 under. Scotty Scheffler, Taylor Hogue, Cam Young, and Grayson Sieg. Carson Young. Tied for 21st with 20 under. Davis Thompson, Alex Minwoo Lee, Eric Cole. Tied for 25th with 19 under. Austin Eckler, Sanjay and Tony Finau, Zach Johnson, Saiwoo Kim, Alex Duran, Evan Van Rooyen, Kyungwoo Lee, and Chandler Phillips. Because of time, I'm going to do notables now. Tied for 34th with 18 under. Jason Day, Tyler Duncan, Vincent Whaley, Will Zalatoris. Tied for 39th with 17 under. Harrison Endicott, Lucas Griffin, Paul Bargin, Wyndham Clark, Justin Lauer, Danny Berger. Tied for 47th with 16 under. Mark Hubbard, Adam Putnam, Ben Colesby, Hugh Hoster, Chris Kirk. Tied for 52nd with 15 under. Patrick Haley, Stefan Yeager, Chesner V. Tied for 56 with 14 under. Chasen Hadley, Matthew Neesmith, Ben Martin. 61st with 13 under. Taylor Montgomery. Tied for 62nd with 12 under. Sam Ryder, Camila Vegas. Tied for 65th with 11 under. Scott Stevens, Nicholas Echevarria. 67th with 9 under. Will Gordon. Notables cut. Matt Wallace, Kevin Strillman, Troy Merritt, Shane Lowry, H.K. Bahita, Jonathan Vegas, Lucas Hodges, Scott Stallings, Ben Silverman, Robbie Shellen, Alex Baddeley, Adam Schenk, Brett Horschel, Nate Lashley, Brandon Wu, Nate Taylor, Tommy Kim, Matt Kuchar, Ryan Palmer, Aaron Ray, Doug Gim, Hayden Buckley, Davis Riley, Callum Taryn, Chad Ramey, Peter Malnati, Grayson Higo, Thomas Dietrich, Jason Duffner, Joel Dahman, Matt McNeely, Brant Snecker, Cam Champ, Dylan Lingworth, Robert McIntyre, Taylor Pendrith, Joseph Brimlett, Adam Long, Davis Lipsky, Pat Kazir, J.B. Holmes, Roger Sloan, Ricky Fowler, Andrew Landry, Andrew Novak, Kevin Kistner, Tyson Alexander, and withdrawing Tyler McCumber and Wilson Furr. Okay, now we'll move on to tennis. We'll go over the weekend's results and then look ahead to overnight from, as you're listening to this, last night, but at the time of recording late night tonight and into today as release of the show and into overnight, into Monday overnight, technically tonight. We'll begin with men's Friday third round. 2 seed Carlos Alcaraz over J.C. Shang in 3 sets and a walkover. Arthur Cazaux upsets 28 seed Town Griekspoor in 3. 9 seed Hubert Hurkacz over 21 seed Hugo Humbert in 4. Miomir Kekmanovic over 14 seed Tommy Paul in 5. 5 seed Andrei Rublev over 29 seed Sebastian Korda in 3. 10 seed Alex de Minaur over Flavio Cobolli in 3. 1 seed Novak Djokovic over 30 seed Tomas Echeverry in 3. 20 seed Adrian Manarino over 16 seed Blake Shelton in 5. Saturday begin the 4th round. 12 seed Taylor Fritz over 7 seed Stefanos Tsitsipas in 4. 1 seed Novak Djokovic over 20 seed Adrian Manarino in 3. 6 seed Alexander Zverev over Alex Michelson in 3. 3 seed Daniil Medvedev over 27 seed Felix Auger-Aliassime in 3. Nuno Borges upsets 13 seed Grigor Dimitrov in 4. 19 seed Cam Norrie over 11 seed Casper Ruud in 4. All right, yesterday 4th round. 5 seed Andrei Rublev over 10 seed Alex de Minaur in 5. 4 seed Jannik Sinner over 15 seed Karen Khachanov in 3. And going on now at the time of the recording, 9 seed Hubert Hurkacz and Arthur Cazaux, and 3 seed Daniil Medvedev and Nuno Borges. And then coming up overnight, 6 seed Alexander Zverev and 19 seed Cam Norrie. Miomir Kekmanovic and 2 seed Carlos Alcaraz. And then tonight at 10:30, 1 seed Novak Djokovic and 12 seed Taylor Fritz. So we're going to actually do some bets with the quarterfinals. So Djokovic is minus 1050, Fritz is plus 670. So we're going to do set betting. We're going to do Djokovic 3-0 minus 115. I just think that's good value. Then 1 quarterfinal overnight. 4 seed Jannik Sinner and 5 seed Andrei Rublev. Sinner's a minus 410 favorite. Rublev is plus 320. I think this goes 5 personally, but I think Sinner is the better player. So I'm going to go Jannik Sinner 3-2 at plus 430. All right, women's Friday, 3rd round. 26 seed Jasmine Paolini over Anna Blinkova in 2. O'Shane Doden over Clara Burrell in 2. 12 seed Qinwen Zhang over YF Wong in 3. Anna Kalinina over Solane Stevens in 3. Diana Yastremka over 2017 Eva Navarro in 3. 9 seed Barbara Krejcikova over Storm Hunter in 3. And Maria Timofeeva over 10 seed Beatrice Haddad Maya in 2. Saturday, 2 seed Arena Sabalenka over Amanda Anisimova in 2. Marta Kostyuk over Maria Timofeeva in 2. 4 seed Coco Gauff over Magdalena Frech in 2. 19 seed Elena Svitolina over Teresa Kolovic in 2. Linda Nosogva over 1 seed Iga Swiatek in 3. And 18 seed Victoria Azarenka over number 11 seed Jelena Ostapenko in 2. And then yesterday, Elena Svitolina had the dropout. She lost in 1 set, and Linda Noskova 3-0 walkover. That's when it happened to Svitolina. Hopefully she's okay. Diana Yastremka upsets 18 seed Victoria Azarenka in 2. 9 seed Barbora Krejcikova over Mira Andreeva in 3. All right. We have 2 overnights. 26 seed Jasmine Paolini and Anna Kalinina. And O'Shane Doden and 12 seed Quinn Zhang. And at 9 o'clock tonight, 4-seed Coco Gauff and Marta Kostyuk. Gauff's a minus 950 favorite, and Kostyuk's plus 660. I think Coco probably wins 2-0. That's minus 280. So I'm going to do game spread. I'm going to go Coco Gauff minus 6.5 at plus 116 for that one. And then we have overnight into Tuesday, 19 Barbora Krejcikova and 2-seed Arena Sablenka. That's a great matchup. Sablenka's minus 750, Krejcikova's plus 550. I'm going to go Sablenka 2-1. That is plus 310, so I'm going to make that the pick. For us in the other quarterfinals, we have one, but we don't know the time, Linda Noskova and Diana Yastremka. That will probably be Tuesday at some point, as will the other quarterfinal, which would be the winner of the Paolini Kalinskaya match and the Zhang Doden match. So we'll keep our eyes out for that. Okay, now we'll do the news and notes for today. It's a lot, so we're going to do it rapid fire. Women's basketball. Tara Vanderveer passes Mike Krzyzewski for most college basketball wins in NCAA history. So congrats to Vanderveer, one of the best to ever do it, one of the more underrated to do it. She is just a star coach, and she's had great teams over the years. So congratulations to Vanderveer. She's amazing. The Raiders hire Antonio Pierce and remove the interim tag from him, so congrats to Antonio Pierce. Max Crosby is ecstatic about it, as he wanted Pierce to get the job, and he deserved it. He went 5-4 down the stretch and made sure that Raider team didn't quit. UFC 297, Dricus Duplessis beats Sean Strickland by split decision in the 297 main event. So congrats to Duplessis. RJ Barrett and Emmanuel quickly came back to the Garden. They got big ovations from the Knicks fans. That's not surprising, because Knicks fans love both those guys. Jalen Watson couldn't believe the amount of snowballs Bills fans were throwing at Patrick Mahomes. Bills fans are just stupid to do that. That's not very nice. Lamar Jackson stressing over Super Bowl as he feels the pressure to win now. And there's a ton of pressure on him coming up next weekend when they host the Chiefs. Absolutely. RG3 and Jay Gruden went at it on social media the other night, which was comical. Sean Desai fired after team's collapse as he lost play calling duties late in the year. That's not surprising. The Commanders interviewed offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy for his coaching vacancy last week. How about this? The touchback rule could change as momentum behind the league correcting penalty for fumbles through the end zone. The Packers likely to lock up Jordan Love as he's expected to become one of the highest paid quarterbacks. That's not surprising. But could that be the Daniel Jones where he gets the big contract and he flops? That could very well be Justin Fields, and that could very well be Baker Mayfield. One of those three guys is going to be next year's Daniel Jones. And I got to be honest, it's probably going to be Baker Mayfield, if I had to guess. A hot coaching candidate is offensive coordinator Brian Callahan of the Bengals, as he has to have second interviews with the Falcons, Panthers, and Titans. I like Brian Callahan. He's done a good job with what the Bengals had, obviously with Burrow, and now with Browning at the end of the year. And Texans offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick had 3 interviews yesterday: Seahawks, Commanders, Falcons. And the Falcons' head coaching search is wide open. I think they'd be dumb not to hire Bill Belichick. He's the best coach out there, and the Cowboys said, yeah, nah, we're going to bring back Mike McCarthy. But Arthur Blank wants Belichick, and apparently it's Belichick's if he wants it. And speaking of the Cowboys, they won't extend Mike McCarthy as Jerry Jones wants him to earn the deal. And then the Falcons interviewed Jim Harbaugh again. The Cowboys are likely extending Dak Prescott as he's still on track for big money despite the playoff loss. I mean, it's probably what they have to do. And it looks like the Eagles will be keeping Nick Sirianni, which is surprising to some but not surprising to others. But the thing is that the Eagles should just fire the coordinators and just bring back Sirianni. Because they missed their coordinators, and both those guys turned out to be good coaches this past year. Like, Gannon did a good job getting 4 wins out of that crummy Cardinals team and kept them competitive a lot throughout the year with and without Kyler Murray. And obviously, Steichen almost got the Colts to the postseason. Kevin Durant says he wants to be in the greatest of all time debate as he points to his resume. What haven't I done? I know what you haven't done. Been the best player on the team that won a championship. Although you can make a case that he was with those Warriors teams, but what I meant by that is the definitive best player. I mean, that's not even the case with the Suns, because you could argue Booker's better than him, and he probably is better than Durant right now. Washington wide receiver Jeremy Bernard is following Kalen DeBoer to Alabama. Former Bama 5-star quarterback Julian Sayin is committed to Ohio State. Arizona's star duo is staying in Arizona. Noah Fifita and Tatoria McMillan. So that's big for them. And then former 5-star recruit Caden Proctor goes to Iowa. Zach LaVine out a few weeks with the right ankle sprain, not surprised. Tyrese Halliburton came back over the weekend after the hamstring injury. Trae Young suffered a concussion in the fourth quarter of Saturday's game. NFL teams eyeing Chip Kelly as an offensive coordinator. I don't know if I would feel about that. And then Caleb Downs went to Ohio State as well, the safety. So Ohio State's getting a lot of former Saban recruits. The NCAA is investigating Florida's 2022 recruitment of quarterback Jaden Rashada being looked into after a failed $13 million NIL deal. Corey Perry signing with the Oilers. So that's a decent veteran pickup for them. The All-Star Game captains in the NHL revealed, headlined by Connor McDavid and Austin Matthews. And the final 2 players for the All-Star skills competition in hockey, Quinn Hughes and JT Miller. Some shocking news in hockey over the weekend. The Islanders fire Lane Lambert, and they hire Patrick Raw as their new coach. That is a somewhat of a surprise. The Islanders weren't doing that terrible this year, but they missed the playoffs in back-to-back years after they let go of Barry Trotz. So I was surprised Lambert made it into this year. So I'm not stunned by the firing, but surprised by the timing in a way. The Capitals extend Alexei Protas 5-year deal, a little over $15 million, but like $3.3 million per. Texas head coach Rodney Terry apologizes and takes accountability for confronting players over horns down gesture after the upset over Baylor. Deebo Samuel did not come back in the NFC Divisional round game due to a left shoulder injury. He better play on Sunday against the Lions. And then 4 Bill guys missed the game against the Chiefs. Gabe Davis, Taylor Rapp, Christian Benford, and Balon Spector. And Mark Andrews didn't play against the Texans. Kentucky big Zavonimir Ivisic, 7'2" freshman, now available to play. So that's big for Coach Cal. Red Sox CEO slams critics as he pushes back on those who doubt team's commitment to winning. Sounds something like Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner would do too. Both those teams are in similar situations, low-key, of how their fans hate their front office. And let's be honest, those are the 2 most spoiled fan bases in all baseball, the Yankees and the Red Sox, and it's not even close. And you could argue the Dodgers, you could argue the Mets, you can argue the Cardinals, but it's clearly the Yankees and the Red Sox who have the most spoiled fans, and it isn't even close. Matt Carpenter back in St. Louis, 1-year deal. Could be a decent pickup for them. And then this was after it was reported that the Red Sox were likely lowering the payroll, as a CEO says the team was disciplined with approaching free agency. Speaking of free agency, the Astros signed Josh Hader, 5 years, $95 million. Big signing for Houston. They get him. It was a much-needed pickup for them, although I thought the Rangers needed him too, but huge for Houston. DeJounte Murray posted an Instagram story about Heat legends amid trade buzz. That's weird. Speaking of trade buzz, Knicks guard Quentin Grimes drawing interest from the Rockets, Hawks, Jazz, and Grizz. But I think they're going to package him in a deal for, Jordan Clarkson or somebody of that nature that could help him. Bruce Brown. Details emerge in the Wander Franco case as Dominican prosecutors' 600-page document describes alleged 4-month relationship with a 14-year-old girl. That's just insanely crazy. Wander Franco probably isn't playing baseball anymore for the Rays, let alone in Major League Baseball. This is absolutely disgusting what he's dealing with. And speaking of Knicks, Jordan Clarkson, as they're eyeing veteran guards, him, Terry Rozier, Alec Burks, Malcolm Brogdon. They obviously want to replace that Quickly spot off the bench. I'm not a Burks fan. He was on the Knicks before and he wasn't good. Rozier, interesting. I like Brogdon the most out of those 4 players. Jordan Clarkson doesn't play any defense, but maybe he'll play defense under Tom Thibodeau. But I like Malcolm Brogdon the most of those 4. Terry Rozier, he's been good for Charlotte, but he doesn't really play any defense either. And Sam Mewis retires at the age of 31. After Mewis calls it a career after dealing with the long-term knee injury. So Sam Mewis, great career. Very young to retire, though. So there you have it for the news and notes. Last but not least, my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. I have a couple of nominees, and the one that I like the most, believe it or not, is in the National Hockey League. I love the over 6.5 at plus money between the Blackhawks and the Canucks. The Canucks have been really fun to watch all season. They tend to be an over team. The Blackhawks really don't play any defense. Over 6.5 plus 104. I'm going to lay a quarter unit on it. So over 6.5 plus 104, a quarter unit, Blackhawks Canucks for my best bet of the day. All right, so that's it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow with a lot of stuff, including portfolio, maybe a little bit of a New Hampshire primary in there, and, of course, news notes, best bet, and everything else that is important for the show. Hope you guys have a great day, everybody.